I want you to visualize something for a second. Something that might feel, well, impossible. Imagine a social network.
Okay.
You log in, but there are no hearts. There are no thumbs up, no thumbs down. There's no endless algorithmic feed trying to make you angry.
I'm with you so far.
But here's the real kicker, the thing that makes it sound like science fiction. There are absolutely no comments, and you are strictly forbidden from giving anyone advice.
It sounds like the anti-internet. I mean, if you pitched that to a venture capitalist today, they'd probably laugh you right out of the room.
They would. It breaks every single rule of engagement we've been taught.
It sounds like a void.
Exactly. But for the people using it, that void is apparently where the actual connection happens. Today, we're exploring a platform called eqoah.
eqoah.
Right. It bills itself as the antidote to social media. And we aren't just reading the marketing copy here. We've gone through the founders' personal archives, the internal training docs for their moderators.
And even some raw audio notes on new features that haven't even launched yet.
Yeah. And what's so compelling is that we're not just looking at an app. We're looking at a whole philosophy that's been translated into code.
It's a story that traces a line from a complete mental breakdown to a chance meeting with a Zen master, all the way to a tech platform designed to scale human intimacy.
It's a wild trajectory. So our mission for this deep dive is to figure out if this is actually genius or maybe just wishful thinking. We're going to look at this concept of deep listening.
And why it is so incredibly hard for us to do.
And why this platform thinks silence is the killer feature we're all starving for. It challenges a lot of our default settings, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Especially that idea that to help someone, you have to fix them.
Ugh, that's the part that got me. I'm a fixer. If you tell me you have a problem, I have a spreadsheet of solutions ready in like 30 seconds.
Right.
So let's start at the beginning, the origin story. Because this didn't start with a bunch of guys in a garage trying to get rich.
No, it started with a crash. We had to look at the founder, Jürgen. Going back about 12 years in the archives. He was a computer scientist, a tech guy through and through. But he hit a wall.
Burnout.
The sources describe it as a total system failure. Burnout so severe, it spiraled into years of depression.
I think that's a narrative so many of us recognize now. The relentless optimization of the human being until the machinery just snaps.
Exactly. And in that state of brokenness, he sought help everywhere. But the pivotal moment came from a chance encounter with Thich Nhat Hanh, the Zen master.
And usually this is the part where the story gets religious, right? The tech guy finds God and leaves the industry.
But that's not what happened. I was reading the notes on this meeting, and the master was very specific. He didn't tell Jürgen to become a Buddhist.
No shaved head.
Right. The instruction was, practice what is good for you. Practice healing. It was a pragmatic toolkit, not a religious conversion.
And this is where the story takes that hard left turn. Jürgen didn't just keep this for his weekend retreat. He took it back to his office.
And not just any office. A 100% remote distributed tech company.
Can you imagine the risk? You get your whole team on a video call, engineers, developers, and you say, okay, everyone, it's Friday. For the next hour, we aren't talking about code. We are going to practice deep sharing from the heart.
I would be terrified.
Me too. I'd assume half the staff would quit, or at least roll their eyes so hard they'd hurt themselves. It feels so uncorporate.
He admits he was afraid of that. But the result was the opposite of what he expected. The sources say acceptance was surprisingly high.
So what did they share?
They started sharing why they might have been unproductive that week. But not excuses like, I was lazy. They shared the real human context.
Like what?
Things like, I am suffering right now, or my marriage is in trouble, or I'm dealing with grief.
Wow. It completely reframed productivity. It wasn't about hiding the struggle to seem professional.
It was about revealing the struggle so the team could actually support the human behind the keyboard. And that was the aha moment. Yeah. Jürgen realized if this vulnerability could work in a secular, remote professional setting, it could work anywhere. You could strip the religious context away and still keep the power.
Okay, so let's get into the mechanics of this, because sharing sounds nice and fluffy, but the actual rules eqoah uses are incredibly rigid. I was reading their guidelines for sharing document. I have to be honest, it gave me a bit of anxiety just looking at it.
It's not a free-for-all, is it?
Not at all. Rule number 4 really stuck with me. It says, listeners listen deeply. No commenting or judging, neither spoken nor in their heads.
That is the heavy lifter right there. nor in their heads.
That feels impossible. I can zip my lip, sure. But silencing my internal monologue, when someone is talking, I'm constantly judging or relating it to myself or rehearsing what I'm going to say next.
We all do that. It's the waiting to speak syndrome. But eqoah's philosophy is that your internal noise is a barrier. If I am judging you while you speak, I am not with you. I am with my judgment.
So why the no advice rule? Why is that so central? My instinct to help is overwhelming. It feels almost cruel to say nothing.
This is where we have to look at the psychology of it. Often, when we give advice, we aren't really doing it for the other person. We're doing it for ourselves. Your pain makes me uncomfortable, so I want to solve it quickly so I can feel better.
Oof. That hits home. So by giving you a solution, I'm basically saying, please stop having this problem because it's stressing me out.
Precisely. It shuts the process down. eqoah believes that being truly heard witnessed without judgment and without someone trying to fix you is where the healing actually happens.
So how does this play out on the platform? Say we are in a group. What are the logistics?
Very structured. One person speaks at a time. You have to verbally signal when you start, and crucially, you signal when you are finished.
And in between?
Silence. If you're speaking and you stop to cry, or you just lose your train of thought and sit there for 40 seconds, nobody jumps in.
Nobody says take your time.
Nothing. The group just waits.
That sounds intense. In normal conversation, a 4-second pause is an eternity. We rush to fill it.
Here, the silence is a container. It holds the person. And you can't talk about, theoretical concepts or politics. You have to share from the heart.
It strips away the intellectual armor. Now, the name itself, eqoah, is an acronym, right? eqoah.
Yep. Every quarter of an hour.
Which speaks to that original vision. The founder wanted a system that was essentially always on.
Like a utility service for empathy.
Yeah. If you're in crisis at 3 a.m., you could log in and a group would be starting within 15 minutes.
It's deeply ambitious. And the sources indicate that while the vision is still there, the reality has shifted a bit.
How so?
Towards dedicated groups. People found they preferred meeting the same group of strangers every week. It builds a deeper trust than a random drop-in.
That makes sense. Vulnerability requires safety. Now, these groups need a leader, but eqoah doesn't use therapists or teachers.
No, and the moderator handout is very explicit. The moderator is a peer participant. The document literally says, don't worry, it is easy.
I loved that. It levels the hierarchy immediately.
A moderator isn't there to analyze you. Their job is strictly logistical. Keep time, open and close the session, and gently enforce the rules.
There was a specific tip in that guide I thought was brilliant. It said, if the group is silent at the start, that awkward who goes first moment, the moderator shouldn't pick someone. They should wait. Or they should model the vulnerability by going first themselves.
It's leadership by example. If the moderator starts by saying, I'm feeling really anxious today, it gives everyone else permission to be messy. But even the moderator is bound by that no advice rule.
Right. It protects the space, and this structure seems vital for the specific communities they're targeting. Jurgen's bio mentions he was diagnosed with ADHD later in life.
Yes. And he describes the relief of finally understanding his brain, but then the horror of trying to find a support group. He found one in his country, went to the website, and it said,
let me guess.
Do not contact us. Waiting list. Several years.
Heartbreaking. That's the reality of the mental health crisis. You finally reach out, and the door is locked.
Exactly. So when he finally found an online group that worked, he described it as bliss. Not because they cured him, but just the realization of, I am not broken, I am just different, and here are other people who are different in the same way.
And eqoah builds that right into its architecture. They have special interest sharings.
Yeah, groups for neurodivergent people, LGBTQIA+ folks, parents who have lost children. It's a global registry of peers. It solves the geography problem.
I want to pivot to some of the new developments we found in those audio notes, because they're moving beyond just sharing into something that looks a little like accountability. They call them happy life groups.
This is where they introduce the concept of inner weather.
Which I love. Instead of how are you, it's what's the weather?
Cloudy with sunny intervals.
Yeah.
Stormy. A bit foggy. It's a shorthand. But the real mechanism is the intention tracker.
Okay, tell me about that.
At the end of a meeting, users set 2 intentions for the week. A body intention and a mind intention.
And these are small things, right? The examples in the audio weren't run a marathon?
No, they were things like no chips or meditate 10 minutes. But the genius is in the display. It's not just a private to-do list.
You can see other people's progress.
Yes. In the app, You see your group members' names, and you can see if they have checked off their intention for the day.
It's the gym buddy effect digitally. If I see that you did your meditation, I feel a gentle social nudge to do mine. I don't want to be the only one with a blank row.
It leverages our tribal instinct for positive reinforcement. But the thing that really caught my attention in those notes wasn't the software, it was the hardware.
Oh, yes. The Kickstarter project. This felt so retro-futuristic to me. They want to build a physical device with 7 LED lights.
It's a concept called calm technology. In a world where everything is fighting for your attention with pings and buzzes, this device just sits there.
So how does it work?
Imagine a small, simple box on your desk. 7 lights, one for each person in your group. When one of your group members completes their intention, say they finish their yoga, their specific light on your device glows gently.
So I'm sitting here working alone in my house, and suddenly a little green light blooms on my desk.
And, without looking at a screen or reading a text, that your friend is taking care of themselves. It creates a sense of ambient intimacy.
You feel their presence in the room with you.
But it doesn't demand anything from you. It doesn't demand you stop what you're doing.
That is a profound difference from a push notification. A notification demands, look at me. This device just says, we are here.
It bridges the physical gap, turns the network into a physical object in your home.
I really hope they built that. It fits the ethos perfectly. And speaking of ethos, we have to touch on the business model, because usually the business model is, well, surveillance capitalism.
Harvest the data, sell the ads.
Yeah.
eqoah is explicitly taking the opposite route. They reference the Patagonia model.
Meaning what?
They're structuring the company so the mission is legally protected. It means they can't just be bought by some giant conglomerate who shuts them down or mines the data.
And the pricing is interesting, too. It's €10 or $10 a month.
Which is significant. By charging, they make you the customer, not the product.
Yeah.
If you pay for the service, they don't need to sell your attention to advertisers.
And for those who can't afford it.
They have a multiple seats option. You can pay more to subsidize a membership for someone else. It's community funded.
I noticed they also pledge a portion of proceeds back to the Fitch Nat Han practice centers.
It's a closed loop of ethics. It's rare to see a tech roadmap that includes moral integrity as a core feature. They state clearly, we don't want to be a unicorn. We don't want a billion-dollar exit. We want to earn a living and provide a utility.
It's an experiment in subtraction. They subtracted the likes, the comments, the viral algorithms, the ads, and they asked, what is left?
And the answer seems to be humanity. It turns out when you strip away the gamification of social interaction, you're left with the raw value of presence.
As the source material puts it, healing is always possible.
But sometimes healing isn't about fixing the problem. It's about witnessing the person holding the problem.
It really forces us to rethink what social even means. We're more connected than ever, but we feel more unheard than ever. eqoah suggests the solution isn't talking more, but listening deeper.
And realizing that you don't have to carry the burden of fixing everyone you love, you just have to sit with them.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you, the listener, with a challenge. You don't need to join an eqoah group to test this theory. You can do it at dinner tonight.
I think I know what you're going to ask.
The next time a partner, a child, or a friend starts telling you about a frustration, I want you to try the deep listening practice. Set a timer in your head for 5 full minutes. Do not interrupt. Do not plan your response. And this is the hardest part.
Do not offer a single piece of advice.
Not a single piece, even if you know the answer. Even if the solution is obvious to you.
Especially then.
Just say, I hear you, or thank you for sharing that. Watch what happens to the energy in the room. You might find that silence is the most powerful thing you can say. Thanks for exploring this with us.
Take care.